Let Us Travel. If you are a true lover and believer of culture, customs, and tradition, you are at the right place. Here, we'll be taking you around the world to learn different types of cultures, traditions that shape the people, and this makes them who they are. We have very, very unique traditions all over the world. You are the right place. Welcome. Relax and enjoy. So we'll be discussing about masquerades. You may have known or you may have seen masquerades. Well, masquerades are covered moving human objects. In some part of the world, they are believed to be spirits. This moves from place to place to either entertain people or to enforce some traditional rites of a people. So when you see such thing, it is called a masquerade. Once you cannot see the face, it is mask. So once it's masked and move around, it is a masquerade. Now we have many types of masquerades from many cultures. So this masquerade, from our understanding, masquerade was first discovered in 18th century by a Swiss man known as John Hedger. Yes, John Hedger was the one who discovered masquerade in the 18th century in London. His idea then about masquerade was to cover up people, mask people, they gather to entertain their guests. Now, these guests pay exclusive to be able to be part of this entertainment. And this happened in London. However, this was not the origin of masquerade, but this was the documented origin of masquerade. Because when you are dealing with facts, you also deal with proven facts. So, yes, John Hedger was the documented inventor of masquerade, but he was not the person that started masquerade, especially in Africa. Yes, in Europe, he is the one, but in Africa, he is not. Now, let us go around Africa and see, because in Africa, we have many types of masquerades. The masquerades in Africa are as old as the African different country, as old as African continent. Yes, this is because masquerades were used predominantly in the old for many things. Masquerades were used to enforce the traditional rites then by our forefathers. So when they make a promulgation, masquerades were used to enforce this. Masquerades as at old were also used during the burial rites of some highly important person then in the society. Masquerades came for the burial. Remember, in Africa, we have an understanding that masquerades are believed to be spirits. So, the wordings are not heard by our ordinary ear, but by those who follow this masquerade and practice the things that are needed. Now, it may interest you to note that we have some rituals that are done to make this masquerade to be fortified. This is practiced in most parts of African countries. Until date, these masquerades have enormous powers. In fact, in the olden days, there are some masquerades that only appear at night. And whenever they appear at night, it means that something very terrible would happen. Sometimes this masquerade happens to be the one that carries the news from the oracle, that is the news from the gods. And they pass it around and enforce some of these rules. In the olden days, then, when abominations, sacrileges are being done, it is these masquerades that go up and down to enforce these things. However, it is not all about the dark side of masquerade. Just like John Hedger did his then to entertain people, we also have masquerades that are purely for entertainment. These masquerades come out, display, dance, chase people around, and people are so happy to watch these masquerades. So the origin of masquerade in Africa is as old as African culture. But the origin of masquerade in the Europe was discovered in the 18th century by the man John Hedger, and it happened in London. Then in Europe, he was known as the man who discovered masquerade. But then in Africa, we know that masquerade is as old as the African customs and tradition. And we love these masquerades. Now, we have various types of masquerades. And we're going to be seeing some of these masquerades display and know what and what makes them so unique. I hope you are enjoying our tales about masquerade. Don't forget to kindly subscribe to this channel so that you will see and enjoy more and more from Let Us Travel as we travel around the world, bringing you the traditions of different people, different things, different customs, tradition, and way of life. Support us by subscribing to this channel. So now we are talking about the big Ijele masquerade. Ijele masquerade is said to be one of the biggest masquerade in sub-Saharan Africa. It measures about 12 to 15 feet tall and it's very big. These masquerade appear in different color. It has different color surroundings to make it have that feel of a huge masquerade. As a date, no masquerade is said to have is bigger than this Ijele masquerade. Yes, we have other animal masquerades that are big, but this Ijele comes with a prestige. And whenever this masquerade wants to come out to show you how big the masquerade is, you have other smaller masquerade who come out to make the way, to tell the people that yes, a big masquerade is coming out. And that makes the masquerade celebration, anytime it comes out, to be a prestigious celebration. Some have never seen it, but you're watching it now. And this is the Ijele masquerade.
Ijele. Ọ dị ka iwe nna m nwoke nwoke n'ọsọ. Ọ dị ka iwe ji Ijele wee biko si na-erubere ndị sekuriti anyị isi site na instruction. Ọ Igbo Ijele.
So this Ijele masquerade is mostly seen in the eastern part of Nigeria. That is the origin of Ijele masquerade. It originates from the eastern part of Nigeria. And whenever it comes out, though it has traveled from the eastern part of the country to entertain some parts of Nigeria, and it has even visited Europe. Yes, the Ijele had appeared in Europe with a special arrangement. So, but the origin of the Ijele masquerade is from the eastern part of the country. Now we have another masquerade, very unique. It appears in a white attire with red cap and holds a staff known as Okpambata. This masquerade is known as the Eyo masquerade. It's mainly found in Lagos State, Nigeria. And this masquerade doesn't just appear anyhow, it also appears on a special Eyo festival. It's held in a very high reverence in Lagos State, Nigeria. It also entertains the crowd and also enforces some rules, regulations of the people of Lagos State. So the Eyo masquerade also appears, and it's a very unique masquerade to watch and behold. If you watch most of the Lagos State documentation, whenever they want to display their cultural insignia, they always infuse the Eyo at the background just to show you how this Eyo masquerade is highly reverenced in Lagos State.
Mr. Shina Elebere. Mr. Shina Elebere is the leader of this contingent. And they are led by Mr. Shina Elebere. They are featuring 20 Eyo masquerades.
So there is another very popular masquerade in Southwest Africa. It is called the Zangbeto masquerade. This masquerade tries to showcase the voodoo powers in it. It appears, dances, and the handlers of this masquerade would always want to flip it open and show you that nothing absolutely is inside. Before you know, in your eyes, it stands up and move. The reason to do this is to show you that the gods are very powerful. So, but this is an African voodoo masquerade. It appears mainly when that festival, the Zangbeto festival, is done in Togo. So this masquerade is very unique on its own, and it's very, very powerful on its own. Remember, some masquerades in Africa are mostly, we have masquerades for entertainment. We have masquerade to do other activities like enforcing laws in different communities. And we have some masquerades that have some voodoo powers. You can't joke with these voodoo powers, because when you hear stories that come from different communities about the effects of this voodoo power, you understand that you don't just joke with these masquerades. So this Zangbeto masquerade is one of those that has its own unique powers. You can see the display of the masquerade, and that is how it works. But still, people watch it, and when it's time to perform, people watch it and they are free. Tourists go there to watch it in Togo. There is another very unique masquerade that if you've not seen this masquerade, you may not get to understand when we say voodoo powers of masquerade. It is called the Wonder Masquerade. Now, here in Nigeria, there is a masquerade called the Wonder Masquerade. This masquerade is presented as a bag of clothes opened, and then before you know, the wonder steps out. Once he steps out, it gets very tall, and then all of a sudden it drops like the same cloth that it came with. So it is called Wonder Masquerade. There have been claims by many quarters about where did it originate from. Some say it is the Ebu wonder that was the first wonder. Some say it is from the Nsuka area. Some say it is from the Enugu area. There are a lot of claims. Even some say it is from the Igala area that this wonder was created from. But the fact is that the Wonder Masquerade entertains people, and the performance is so shocking that if you are not told that it came as an ordinary cloth, you will never believe it. And the wonders of getting taller than whatever any human being can ever be in this life is another story that you may be shocked to see. But as you're watching this now, you will see the wonder as it's performing. That is the Wonder Masquerade. It is popular and many people have seen it and they actually like it. So then, masquerades did actually originate from the Europe, but then the first documented one was from the Europe. So we have different types of other masquerades. Now I'm going to leave you to watch different masquerades perform. We have a lot of them. If I start to mention the names of masquerades and how they perform, we may not live here. What it to note is the one we'll still call the Izaga masquerade. Even the French speaking countries, they also have the Izaga masquerade, but they call it another name. But in Nigeria, it is called the Izaga masquerade. It is the masquerade that stands on pole, on wooden pole to display. When you watch this video now, you would see the displays of these ones. Some of them actually twist and turn with this pole. Some even split on this pole and they land with their two legs. So these are different types of masquerades. And like I said, these masquerades are used to entertain people. There are some that are used during the burial. There are some that are used to enforce traditional rites. This is how Africa is, and we love our culture and traditions. Remember, whatever culture and tradition you have, cherish it. It is something you can't get from anywhere. And I know you must have enjoyed our stories. Please don't forget to subscribe so that we can grow and get you to where you want to see. Watch out for the next episode as we bring you further enthralling updates on our different cultures and traditions. Sit back and relax.